Have you ever met someone who genuinely enjoys being alone? Not lonely, not rejected, not unhappy, just someone who feels more at peace in their own company than in a crowded room. Most people assume there's something wrong with that. They imagine that people who prefer solitude must be antisocial, emotionally distant, or disconnected from others. But psychology suggests there may be a deeper story behind it. Not everyone who enjoys being alone had the same childhood. Human behavior is far too complex for simple explanations. People are shaped by personality, life experiences, relationships, and countless other factors. But psychologists have noticed certain patterns that appear more often in people who feel comfortable spending time alone. And in some cases, that comfort with solitude begins much earlier than most people realize. One common experience is learning to solve problems alone. Some children grow up in environments where emotional support is limited. Their parents may have been busy, overwhelmed, emotionally unavailable, or simply unaware of what the child was struggling with. Over time, the child learns that when something hurts, confuses, or frustrates them, they must figure it out themselves. Psychology suggests that repeated experiences of self-reliance can gradually become part of a person's identity. As adults, these individuals often feel capable of handling life's challenges on their own. They don't automatically seek advice, reassurance, or comfort from others because independence became familiar very early in life. As a result, being alone doesn't necessarily feel lonely. It feels familiar. For some, solitude becomes the place where they feel most capable, most in control, and most like themselves. Another experience is growing up in a noisy or emotionally unpredictable environment. Some children spend years surrounded by conflict, tension, criticism, chaos, or constant stimulation, even when nobody intends harm. An environment that feels emotionally overwhelming can make a child long for quiet spaces. Research suggests that when children repeatedly experience stress, moments of peace become especially valuable. As adults, they may find themselves drawn to solitude because it provides something they rarely experienced when they were younger: calm. To other people, it may seem like they are withdrawing, but from their perspective, solitude feels restorative. It feels like finally putting down a weight they carried for years. A third experience involves spending a lot of time in their own imagination. Not every childhood is filled with constant social interaction. Some children spend long hours reading, drawing, building imaginary worlds, exploring hobbies, observing life, or simply thinking. Psychologists have long observed that children who develop rich inner worlds often become comfortable entertaining themselves. They learn to find stimulation internally rather than relying entirely on external activity. As adults, they may continue enjoying time alone because their minds remain active, curious, and deeply engaged. Solitude is not empty for them. It is full of thoughts, ideas, reflections, creativity, and possibilities. While others may need constant activity to feel engaged, they can find an entire world within their own minds. Many people who enjoy solitude also spent part of their childhood feeling misunderstood. Perhaps they were unusually sensitive, thoughtful, curious, creative, or emotionally aware. Sometimes they struggled to fit in. Sometimes they felt like others didn't fully understand them. When that feeling repeats often enough, a child may stop expecting to be fully understood. Instead, they learn to find comfort within themselves. Psychology suggests that repeated experiences of feeling misunderstood can encourage people to become more inwardly focused. Rather than constantly seeking validation from others, they develop a stronger relationship with their own thoughts, values, and identity. As adults, they may still enjoy meaningful relationships, but they often feel most comfortable in environments where they don't have to explain who they are. For them, solitude can feel like authenticity, a place where they no longer have to translate themselves for anyone else. Another pattern is becoming an observer. Some children naturally spend more time watching than speaking. They notice small details, emotional shifts, patterns in behavior, and things that other people often overlook. Whether because of personality, circumstance, or environment, these children frequently develop strong observational skills. Rather than constantly participating, they become skilled at understanding. As adults, they may still enjoy stepping back from the center of attention. Solitude gives them space to process what they observe, reflect on their experiences, and make sense of the world around them. Their quietness is not necessarily a lack of confidence. Sometimes it is simply a different way of engaging with life. Looking back, a common theme appears throughout these experiences: learning independence, seeking peaceful spaces, developing a rich inner world, feeling comfortable with authenticity, and becoming a thoughtful observer. These experiences do not guarantee that someone will prefer being alone, nor do they mean that solitude is always healthy. Human behavior is shaped by countless influences, and every person's story is different, but they remind us of something important. Enjoying time alone is not automatically a problem that needs to be fixed. Sometimes what looks like isolation is actually comfort. What looks like distance may be self-understanding, and what looks like withdrawal may simply be someone feeling most at peace in their own company. Because being alone and being lonely are not always the same thing. Loneliness is the pain of disconnection. Solitude is the comfort of connection with yourself. And for some people, after years of learning, adapting, and growing, solitude doesn't feel like an escape from the world. It feels like home. Because for some people, solitude was never about escaping others. It was about finally finding a place where they could hear themselves think, a place where nothing needs to be performed, nothing needs to be explained, and nothing needs to be proven. And for a little while, simply being themselves feels enough. If some of these experiences felt familiar, you're certainly not alone. And if you enjoy exploring the hidden psychology behind human behavior, consider subscribing for more videos like this.